You know, it was probably a little extra fun rooting against the Colts and rooting against the Dolphins last year. And it'll be fun rooting against the Saints this year too, Barrett, trying to get that first-round pick a little higher up.
I mean, no question. I mean, you look at it, they have an opportunity just to be okay. I mean, Coach Allen's a defensive-minded coach. They lost their offensive head coach. You know, so at this point, I don't see if Jameis Winston can be on the same page and get that offense going as well as he would have when he has Sean Payton there. So I think it kind of bolds in our favor that, you know, that offense might not be clicking. Now, I'm not going to take it away from Jameis Winston. He's pretty good. But I don't know if he has that same tool list he had with Sean when he was there.
Right. Jameis Winston and Dennis Allen are a very different Saints team than maybe Sean Payton and Drew Brees.
Absolutely.
Anyways,
We hope so.
We're kicking things off here, though, with the three-point stance. It's Barrett's stance on the three items du jour of the day. Number one, Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown bound to have chemistry from the jump. We just saw pictures of Hurts and Brown working out. I mean, they even posted together before Brown joined the Birds. And those reps, they're going to matter, Barrett.
They're absolutely going to matter because those two being together, you can't discount the camaraderie they can get from being out there working together, just getting a sense on how Jalen's going to throw the ball, how far he can lead his receiver, comebacks. You know, those are all things that you have to develop just by throwing with each other, having a catch. You know, it might just be a friendly catch, but there'll be things that stick out to both of them that they can go to and have it in their toolbox, you know, later on in the season or during the season when they first start out. Hey, remember we ran this route here. It can help us out there. Because at the end of the day, that chemistry is huge when you're talking about the ball placement, where you're going with the ball. Are they seeing things out the same eyes? You know, all those receivers have to look through Jalen Hurts' eyes to read the defense, to see how to run the routes, to make this team successful.
So it's interesting as well because Jalen Hurts, his two biggest weapons now are one of his best friends in A.J. Brown and his former college teammate, Devontae Smith. So the doomsdayer in me kind of wonders, okay, if things go south, they're buddies, what happens there? But you kind of had a different perspective on this.
No, I definitely have a different perspective. Like, it's almost like your brother. I don't care how bad it gets, it's still my brother. Well, hey, my friends are the same way. I don't know how bad it gets. I could tell a guy, hey, man, we got to get this, or we got to work on this, or you're not doing this. You know what I'm saying? And they can accept it and not catch feelings over it. Because at the end of the day, they were friends, you know. So I kind of think that it will help him out more so than anything because he can go in and have a tough conversation with each other to make each other better, you know. So, you know, iron sharpens iron. Those two and the rest of those guys can really get on the same page because they are friends and they do have that camaraderie, you know, relationship.
There's that added layer of honesty.
On and off the field, you know.
All right, so let's get to your second stance. The Eagles are better set up, I love this stance, better set up for long-term success than any team in the NFC, Barrett.
Well, I think so because at this point, you know, if Jalen Hurts turns out to be the guy that they think he's going to be, the way they've helped him out and brought him weapons, then they have the quarterback, number one. Number two, they have a young nucleus. All these young guys under the age of 25, that's crazy. So now they have a left tackle that's going to block for Hurts for the next 5-6 years. Landon Dickerson's still young. Cam Jurgens comes in, replaces, Jason Kelsey. They have so many guys there that, you know, you can go up through the ranks with. So they'll learn the Eagle way. And the Eagle way hopefully becomes a successful way. So all those guys will be the foundation, the building blocks of this team. So when they go for it during, you know, the next 5 years, all those guys will play together. They know what it is to work with each other, and they'll have that chemistry with each other. So when you look at a team like a team with A-Rod, you know, how much longer is Aaron Rodgers going to play? You know, and then he's gone. Then they're starting from block number one. A guy like Brady. Brady's at, you know, Tampa Bay. What, he has one more year left? Now they got to start from block one again.
With the new head coach as
yeah,
well.
Exactly. So it's hard to build a team without a quarterback. And hopefully the Eagles have their quarterback in Jalen Hurts, which will help them going forward, especially with those young guys, a young nucleus of guys that have played together, know what it is to play with each other, know that Eagle way. It'll help them going into the future.
So the Eagles, you say, are the team most set up for success in the NFC. But when you look around the NFC, are there any other teams that jump out at you as teams who also have set themselves up relatively well to try to achieve something?
Well, I mean, I look at the Miami Dolphins a little bit, kind of the same situation, that you have here in Philadelphia. It's just the opposite. You know, they're defensive minded. You know, the way they set things up. They're kind of pushed themselves forward offensively. The Eagles have pushed themselves defensively. They brought a lot of young guys in on the defensive side of the ball. You look at the Dolphins, they brought a lot of guys on the offensive side of the ball. Our offense only brought in really one major guy to make a major difference, in the offense. They brought in a whole bunch of guys. So I think they're kind of moving the way up through the ranks. There's just a lot of teams with that old veteran quarterback, and it's helping them right now. But later on, like a Cincinnati team, they're built to last too because young quarterback, young weapons, it's just, a transition from the old to the new. And I think the Eagles are part of that transition in the NFL.
So real quick, speaking of the Dolphins, so are you thumbs up or thumbs down on Tua Tagovailoa then?
I'm like this, safe.
All right, well, in that
They're safe.
In that case, we will just move right along to your final stance. Players, Barrett, I mean, we all say crazy stuff, but players, they tend to say a little extra crazy stuff during the offseason, and we've got that quote that kind of puts you over the edge here. It comes from Steelers wideout Chase Claypool, who was on the I Am Athlete podcast. He said, and I quote, "I know for a fact I'm not like the rest of the guys in the NFL. I know I'm a top 5 receiver. I know I'm a top 3 receiver." Barrett, where does he land in your top 5 or top 3 of receivers?
There lies the problem. So you just talking just to hear yourself talk. That doesn't make sense. I can name 12 guys on a list that are, at this point, better than he is. I just look at my list. All right, is he better than DeAndre Hopkins? No. Mike Evans? No. Devontae Adams? No. Cooper Kupp? No. Tyreek Hill? No. Stephon Diggs? No. Jamar Chase? No. Justin Jefferson? No. Deebo Samuels? No. A.J. Brown? No. DK Metcalf? No. All right. CeeDee Lamb? I hate that he's from Dallas, but I'm going to have to say no there also. So I don't know. He's just not being realistic. I think he just wants to make sure that he's hyping himself up.
Yeah.
But there's no way he thinks that he's a top 10, not even 5 or 3, not even a top 10 wide receiver, especially now that he doesn't have Big Ben back there. Oh, it's a whole. He's gonna really have a realistic viewpoint of who he is with the quarterbacks he's gonna have throwing to him this year.
He's trying to speak it into existence, but he's just not in your MySpace
you can't
top
lie,
8.
Though. That's next to lying, though. He lied. That's not speaking it into existence. He just flat out just lied.
He lied.